Well, Zandile Christmas Mafe's arrest on Sunday made headlines. The 49-year-old is accused of arson after he allegedly caused the fire that's raised parts of Parliament to the ground. And there's been much speculation about him. Who is he and what are his political affiliations? Well, eNCA's Ronald Masinda is out in the field to find out. Let's cross to him now live. Ronnie, there have been these messages going around on social media saying that Mr. Mafe was trained with the Russian army for 15 years and he got Chinese experts to help him with fireworks in China and that he's some kind of mole for the KGB. He's working for the RET faction. None of this has been proven and he certainly doesn't look the right age to have spent 15 years in Russia. What are you finding out?
Annika, good morning. Well, a lot of speculation, of course, doing the rounds about Mr. Zandile Christmas Mafe's possible affiliation with the Russian army. We do know that there's also a report this week about placards being found inside his shack in a Site B in Khayelitsha, where he has said, or we've been told that it belonged to him. Those placards saying that, asking for the release of Janus Valus, the man who was behind the killing of Chryssani. So many unanswered questions. But to some, this was a total honest human being, a man who was living on the streets, who had really nowhere to go. But for more on this, we are joined by a person who knew him very well. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. Please introduce yourself to our viewers. And how did you know this man?
Good morning. I'm Venetia Ojo. I'm from Mitchell's Plain. I'm known as Ma in the gardens and as the angel of the gardens to the homeless. I feed homeless every Thursday night for the past 10 years. And that's where I got to meet Zandile. The other guys call him Christmas. I never knew what his surname was until I saw his face when he came out of the dock on Tuesday and he took off his mask, and I said, this guy is not guilty.
Why though?
Because I don't find him, in the times that I fed him, I didn't find him capable, because that's why I say he's mentally challenged at times. You know, when you get somebody in a line that's mentally challenged, which in my line there's quite a couple. You would find them knock against each other or say something to each other in a joke or something. And he was one of those people that would walk away without taking food. And on 2 occasions, I remember actually walking after him to say to him, but here's your food, because it's already dished. And he would say no. And I would say, why? What's wrong? Come on now. Take your food. And he would say, no, the ancestors don't want me to take it. So with things like that, you would always find and know that they are challenged, you know. So I don't think that this guy is capable of doing to Parliament what they say he did.
Have you had conversations with the people who were close to him on the streets? We are being told that he lived on the gardens. Following the arrest, were there any conversations to ask, perhaps, were there any signs that perhaps this man was involved in any sort of wrongdoing?
I personally know, except for one of my ex-homeless people. He's now married. Bradley sent me a voice note and he said to me, Ma, definitely not. This guy is not capable. I've been living on the street and he's been on the street for a while, you know, and Bradley's already off on the street about 1.5 years, if not longer. So, you know, if people like Bradley, who's now sober, who's married, who's now living in his own home, is saying it can't be him, how much more? I'm hoping to go into town tomorrow, because a lot of homeless is now with this EPW work during the week. So I'm going into town tomorrow to just go walk around and see who and what is being said about this guy. You know, so this is it. I don't believe he's guilty. I believe that he's being used as a scapegoat.
Indeed, I want to get to that point because that has been a word doing the rounds, scapegoat. We also know that even last year when those Cape fires broke out, that the alleged arsonist was let free. Now, do you believe that the homeless are being targeted?
I believe homeless is being targeted big time, especially when it comes to fires in Cape Town. It's always a homeless person. What I find funny is homeless would make fires in winter because it's cold and they're out in the street. And why would they want to make fires in summer? And what I feel about this, and I promise you, they are now going to send this guy to prison for a couple of weeks, awaiting trial and whatever. And this whole story is just going to die out because they're going to know who the culprit is. But they are going to make Zandile be the guy who falls for it. And then after a couple of months, they're going to find out, oh no, it can't be him. I mean, there is things that you can know someone is not up to good. And I thank God for the wisdom he's given me. Because I don't go feed the homeless because I can. I'm feeding them because God called me to do that. And Zandile is definitely the wrong guy.
All right. Thank you very much, Ma, for your time. Well, those are just some of the sentiments we've been getting on the ground. Just before this actual crossing, eNCA, we're also hearing reports that quite a number of the homeless have been removed outside of Parliament. So it seems that there's been tightened security following the arson attack. We will, of course, continue this conversation. We'll try and go to Khayelitsha to speak to the people who knew Zandile Christmas Mafe.